Welcome to a new episode of the TF Motorsports official podcast. I'm Thomas Frasco, as we are just about approaching October, and as we know, we actually have 3 events that we're going to cover this year before we get to 2025, which the first one on the list, of course, is Glendale, and that's going to be a very interesting event. We have a lot of great drivers listed, and a lot of questions are currently being asked all throughout the Monster Truck and Monster Jam community. And before we go into this, I actually want to introduce a few guys here. So first we have, of course, Monster Jam Loser Texas, or Douglas, as he's been on the podcast before. And someone new here, Monster Jam California, or as he's known as Kaysen. Guys, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having us, man. Honored to be here.
Thank you for bringing me back on. Last time was fun.
Yep, and now we are gonna just chat about Monster Jam again. It's something that we just love to do, yeah.
We all love to do that.
And again, that's just pretty much our lives at this point. As
basically
looking forward to MetLife next year. Again, I'm eyeing up tickets and hoping to bring some buddies to that. And of course, we got all the live streams to look at and some news to get into. So first, let's actually get away from Glendale for a second. So if you are around the New Jersey, New York area, yeah, you're going to have to stick with MetLife this year because Syracuse, believe it or not, is not having an event this year.
Wow, surprising. That is surprising.
Yeah, so
that was a shock to me when I first read that headline.
Why would they say yes for concerts and no for Monster Jam? That is my question.
I think it'd be better to have both, wouldn't it? You know, you'd get double the revenue. I guess
they probably would, but I don't even know. It kind of happened with the World Finals too. I know you know all about that, Thomas, but the same thing probably happened with Monster Jam this year, where it just got moved and they couldn't find a date to host it. And so they're not doing it at all.
And either that, or as some people have said, and I kind of agree with, maybe it was pretty much last year being the last straw, because obviously they've had times where drivers crashed into the barrier. I think Damon did that back in 2015, I believe. I might be wrong.
And then Tristan.
Yeah, and now we got Tristan England with JCB Digatron in the final round, crashing, but this time getting over into the barrier, Captain's Curse style. But
basically a complete repeat of Damon.
Yeah, but I
oh my god.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think that might have been the last straw. But again, it ain't fully confirmed on why they're not going this year, and it might just be this year. But hopefully next year for in 2 years for 2026 they'll come back, because again, that's a big venue for Monster Jam, as it was for a while, a while.
They did say they will probably return in the next few years, so we should expect Monster Jam to return either in 2026 or 2027.
Okay.
If I have to take a guess.
Ugh, 2026, 2027. Fuck, I feel old, man.
I feel old. My birthday's in actually a few weeks in October.
Jeez, man, it's just the thought of all that. Hard to process.
No.
Please.
We're all getting old.
Yeah, so let's get away from that bit of news and let's go into the main reason of why we're on this podcast and why we're talking and shit. So this is, of course, Monster Jam's return to stadiums since the summer, as we'll be going to watch Glendale. Obviously, they're going to be live streaming on YouTube, and I believe they're actually going to have the main commentators on the live stream, right?
Oh yeah, they will. Scott Jordan has actually said.
Oh.
Scott Jordan has actually said that apparently they're doing a broadcast, kind of a live broadcast on YouTube, surprisingly.
Awesome.
And I don't remember when they did that, probably the World Finals, but it's been a long while since they've done that.
Yeah, the last time they did that was with the Last Chance qualifier, but keep in mind, this is the first time that we're having a broadcast professionally live like this since Atlanta 2010. Because
Oh yeah.
all the other times that we had the live streams, like the All-Star Challenge pay-per-view, and then all the other live streams that we had throughout, they just did it just recording the show and just having the main commentators that are commentating to the fans themselves. So, yeah, we haven't had this type of commentator, like, major edited type of live stream like this in a while. So this is great that we're having a full event professionally done.
That'll definitely make it more entertaining, a lot more engaging.
Yeah, I have it marked on my calendar. I'm not missing this, like, at all.
I ain't missing it either. Like,
yeah. That also brings me to a new question. Do you think we're gonna have a new track? Because again, usually they would do this at Glendale. I don't think last year they do that.
They did. Last year they did.
Yeah, so I'm thinking we're probably gonna see a new track this year as well.
I think so too.
I'm kind of in the mix because if you remember in 2021, I mentioned that. Oh wait,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry, not 2021. 2022, they just completely took the yellow tour track and just painted it red. But spoiler alert, that was the red tour track. And then last year we got something completely different and completely surprising. And to be honest, I feel like they're gonna maybe pull that off again by just taking a track that we got from this year and just paint it a different color and just say, "Oh, this is the track for next year. Enjoy."
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with that because
Aw.
because we have the Marvel trucks coming in. We got Caleb Blood and Sparkle Smash, so they're like hyping those up. You got Zach Garner, Wildside, Adam with, I believe he's gonna be having the new Gravedigger there.
He is.
And of course you got the live commentating. So there's a lot of hype surrounding this event, so I don't see them doing the same track. I think they're going to do a new track this weekend, and if I'm wrong, I'll eat crow on that. So just
Yeah,
take my
I'm
word.
I'm gonna have to side with Thomas on this one. I don't think they're gonna like take a track that we have from this year and just like repaint it a new color. They could do that, and they have done it before. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah.
following the tradition from last year, I don't think so. I think they're gonna do something completely new. If not, like, maybe change up, like, the tracks that we've seen before. I don't know what,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah.
it's either they're changing up, like, an already existing, like, a track or just making something entirely new.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying this is my honest opinion. That's just a feeling I have that they might do. And if they do that, that's just absolutely stupid. But at the same time, I feel like Monster wants to be a little bit cheap these days, you know?
Maybe.
Yeah, but again, we'll see. Again, we don't have a full track map, obviously, or any info about the track. So right now it's just speculation. But again, keep your fingers crossed for a new track. And again, I believe they're gonna. But if they don't, again, then yeah, then it'll go that direction. But we'll see.
Well, actually,
again.
here's a. Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, actually, that was a lot. Anyways,
There you go.
and actually, yeah, all right. Now back to. And actually, I kind of have a question. In your honest opinion or thought, when it comes to Glendale revealing like either a new track or, in my mind, the same track with a different color, which tour do you think that track will be on?
Oh, now, honestly,
Oh.
I think they're gonna probably go for Stadium West if they were to reuse a track that we had this year. I mean, it's got the space, and combined with the big floor space, you can add an extra set to the track and make it more of a bigger show. So, honestly, if they had to reuse a track, I think it would be the Stadium West track.
Oh, that could be.
I don't see any other evidence, like, disproving or agreeing with that, so no comment.
Yeah, but actually, personally for me, I kind of think it would be the East track for some odd reason. I don't really know why. It's just I think it's just because they don't really want to keep the same track that was mostly shown in that because like for an example, we let's just say for next year they put the West Tour track that we got this year and put it on the East Tour. Most of the East Tour stops are that well actually most of the stops that are on the East Tour, aka the West Tour stops, they've already seen that track. Actually, majority of them already seen that track. So just like putting the same, I'm just saying like putting the same track in the same venue, but with a different tour is going to be a little bit boring to some fans.
Yeah,
Is all I'm saying.
yeah. Well, with that and also the live streams, it's gonna be kind of quick to catch on to that.
Yeah. Yeah, but at the same time, uh, but actually, question that I kind of meant because I immediately understand what you guys meant by that. But another question that I kind of had, the sorry, the track that will most likely be revealed in Glendale this week. Next year, which what tour do you think that track will have?
Probably
Up
East.
on the face.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think East.
probably.
It's
And
always
for
they,
like the Texas shows, probably like West or something.
yeah, because like they for Glendale they always show the East track of what it's gonna look like.
And I think that
Seriously.
tradition might just follow into this year. I think they might actually just do that.
Yeah. That
They'll
is
probably they'll probably like change up like a few things from tracks we already seen.
right.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
like kind of like how they did with Stadium East, where they added that backflip, step up looking thing on the one side.
that was very
Yes.
interesting to see.
Yeah, like I'm surprised that they didn't have the one side just flat, so you could just send it. It's actually like a gap jump of some sort. It was kind of weird of a choice that they did for that.
It was also
Kinda.
disappointing that they did not keep the bowl.
Yeah, the bowl.
Yeah.
Oh my god, if they had the bowl, that would have been like crazy, honestly.
Yeah. I
But at
really
the
enjoyed the
same
bowl when they did that.
yeah.
Sad they didn't
Well,
bring it back.
I mean, I know why they didn't bring it back for this year.
Yeah.
Wait, why? Why didn't they?
So in Glendale, when they were testing out the track
The bowl.
last year, the bowl, when they let like from what I heard, they let Kayla like jump like through another ramp and then jump on the pod, and it like sent her truck so far. Like I mean so far where she literally just broke the truck. It took a
Yeah.
while to get fixed,
Yeah, it's a
and
truck
it was
killer.
and it was basically considered that bowl was considered a danger hazard. So they just got rid of the bowl and just kept the pod.
Yeah.
Hooray!
I mean, like even then, like sometimes I do like the ramps kind of being like in between each other, but I don't like it when it's like every week, because then that
Yeah.
that of course could be unsafe, as seen with Tom, of course.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so if they do
Eh,
make a lot of different tracks, or at least like update some of them, I suggest they try and space them a little bit more, so you got room to really send it to. So that could actually have some pretty good moments as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
Maybe they'll bring back the bowl for this year again, but I highly doubt that. I just
They
heard
should at
rumors,
least
but
make it. Oh, so, my
sorry,
bad.
but like this is gonna happen all the time. Fuck.
You're
But yeah,
fine.
I know.
I heard rumors that they're gonna bring back the bolt, but I severely doubt that because, like Kason said, like that could be a safety hazard. Again, like Thomas brought up, Tom Mentz. Something
Yeah.
like that could happen in Caleb Blood. Like they could get injured. I can definitely see that now.
But
Yeah.
also about the like, I think they should just make a different track. Now, obviously, you got all your racing styles pretty much addressed by now. You got you have Chicago, you have St. Louis, you have the Bull, or Cyclone or whatnot. I think they should go and like kind of do new tracks every so often. Like, we're gonna get to obviously the fan part, because obviously last week I forgot to do the fan part because I ran out of time. But I think somebody suggested that like they could do like a new track every like 2 or 3 weeks, and like that's understandable. It gives people time. But if it is possible, then you could do it like each week, but only for stadiums. So that's 2 tracks you got to worry about. But like honestly, it would be better for them to like say you have the St. Louis style track, and obviously you want to touch upon it. Well, when you bring that back, add like an extra ramp in the racing lane or something like that. Like they should just like experiment the whole season, and that could really like spice things up. I think that would work. Like, especially since everything's live streamed, that would also be better for the viewer too, because now you're getting new things each week, and now you're like, oh my god, what's my next track going to be? Like, where am I going to see, like, for instance, like Tampa? What track am I going to see there? Honestly, I think they should rather go for that direction, or even better. If it's too late, then maybe next year, but plan ahead and do what Supercross does and have like track maps. Like, you reveal them each week on the YouTube or social media or on the website. You have your track map, you got the racing layout, and you showcase the freestyle obstacles too. Like, you guys seen those Supercross ones where they showcase
Yeah,
the
I have.
tracks? Yeah, they should do that with Monster Jam and do that weekly. But obviously not for
I
arenas, but for stadiums.
I do hope they like change the track up like every once in a while. And plus like the drivers have actually expressed interest in like changing the track up a little bit because I s- they didn't say it was repetitive, but something along those lines, like they're looking for a change. And fans obviously feel the same way, so I I do want like Monster Jam to at least change like a little bit about the track. Not like St. Louis compared to like, I don't know, Vegas style for this example, like not an entire change like that. That's not what I'm asking. But like just adding like new ramps every now and then, not too big of a change, but good enough to where it's not like boring. I want to hear what y'all think about that.
Yeah, like you can use the same style for a couple weeks in a row. Like, that's fine. But like, I think having different obstacles to set the shows apart, I think would be a phenomenal choice. Cuz then you could just like expand on it and have like, obviously with motorsports, you got to have storylines like for instance, like in 1998, people are asking, is Dale Earnhardt going to win the 500? And then eventually he did. That's just an example. But like, just like you have like this crazy like new like ramp you made, and you could build off a story like that. Like, is drivers going to be able to conquer this ramp, or are they going to be like destroyed by it? Like, it would set storylines leading into the event, and it would fit perfectly, I think.
Yeah, and it would like bring in new winners sometimes. That's how I feel. So it's not just like, for example, Ryan or Adam winning all the time, or Tristan. Like, list goes
Those
on. At least we'll have different winners.
those dang Andersons always winning all the time.
Oh man.
But when you put Tyler and Ryan together, it's a nightmare.
Oh yeah, fucking Tyler and Ryan. Those guys are insane. Uh,
And it's
They're
and it's really
unstoppable.
enjoyable when it comes to a tour with them.
I like
Yeah,
I'm still shocked they weren't put together after last year's Tyler Menega dominated show. You know, like he was like, if Tristan
Yeah.
messed up a little bit, or if Tyler Duke messed up a little bit, Tyler was just there to pounce, and literally there was no breathing room. So yeah, I think Ryan should have been paired with him.
I feel like it
very
should
rarely
always be
someone
like
would beat
that.
Tyler.
Mm.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it should just like. I mean, no disrespect to the Anderson brother tour, but I don't really feel like putting, like, say, well-known sibling drivers together on a tour is the brightest idea. Because from what I noticed, Adam and Ryan's energy from this year has been really not their own energy. Like, it was just really boring, to be honest,
Yeah,
if you think about it more.
yeah, maybe a little bit, but I can
But
still,
quarter two, that changed.
but I could tell the difference, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, it's still great to see those guys, though.
Yeah, it is.
Um, Now speaking of drivers, let's talk about the lineup itself. So obviously Adam Anderson, he's going to be having the new Gravedigger. We have the four Marvel trucks. We have the Amazing Spider-Man. Camden Murphy's going to be driving that truck. Barmer Sauer is going to be driving Black Panther. We also have Brandon Arthur. I believe this is his first United States event after competing international. He's got Iron Man.
It's his first, Oh, I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
you're fine. You're fine. Just
Uh,
you're able to chime in whenever.
yeah, I was just gonna like point out that it's not his first United States event, but it is his first United States event in stadiums.
Ah, when did he
Yeah.
compete in the United States?
Last year filling in for Elvis Linus plus Ashley Stanford
Ah, okay.
Was he
for the
in
West
like
Tour.
the normal tours like throughout the year?
He was mainly on the when it came to the US, he was on the West Tour for arenas, and that's really where I remember him being. The
Yeah, I think
the
that's
rest
about
had
it.
him. Yeah.
All right. So then we
Yeah.
have Jamie Sullivan. She's going to be in the fourth Marvel truck. She's going to be in Thor. Caleb Blood's going to bring Sparkle Smash into Glendale, I believe, for the first time. Jamie Gardner is back in El Toro Loco. Devin Winfield in Velociraptor. Um, it also says Devin Winfield for Jurassic Attack on my end.
That's like a glitch.
Okay, so
That's a glitch.
so, so did I believe I'm
It's
guessing
supposed to
Dalton
be
Widener
Dalton.
maybe.
Yeah, yeah, it's Dalton.
Yeah, Dalton Widener in Jurassic Attack. Okay. Um, Still, as of right now, I don't know who's going to be driving Monster Mutt Rottweiler, but that will be announced
Jeff.
eventually. Oh, what was that?
Jeff Souza.
Okay, so he'll be driving. Nice. And then,
Yeah, from what I heard.
yeah,
From what I heard, yeah, it's probably true.
okay. And then we have Mike Christensen in Vendetta and the World Racing Champion Zach Gardner in Wildside, rounding out the lineup. So, honest opinions on the lineup.
Who's
What
going
we thinking?
first?
I guess I'll go first.
All right.
First of all, Camden. He's in the Amazing Spider-Man, obviously.
Yep.
I I do think it's a good fit.
Honestly, yeah.
Like I know when you look at Camden, you obviously don't think Spider-Man, but he kind of like fits the ride perfectly. It's just something like about him. And like Brandon Arthur coming to stadiums after just being in like arenas in the United States and just having stadium experience in the internationals, it's gonna be like interesting to see him come back to the US, which I don't know how that's gonna go. Hey, son.
Oh, my turn. All right.
Yep, you're good.
Well,
Voice crack.
I
You hear
just
that? Oh. Okay.
just don't want any interruptions. All right. Anyways, now for our serious face. Um, Surprising, we only have one reigning World Finals champion. Of course, the one man who made like almost the whole entire stadium, I mean fans in SoFi Stadium cry. Of course, that means Zach Garner. Um, we'll say it's a little interesting to see. I mean, seeing Devin already get boosted up to stadiums is just kind of surprising, to be honest, especially in his rookie year. It's a little more interesting. Get to see the Marvel trucks in the U.S. for the first time in a while. Also pretty cool.
Yeah, 10
Adam gave
years.
wow, 10 years. That is a while. And of course, Adam's gonna debut Gravedigger 42 in Glendale, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of doubting Adam's new chassis immediately, but to be honest, I kind of saw his success a lot more in CRDs, so I'm not gonna doubt him. And
Yeah, I think.
obviously, seeing James. Oh, sorry. No, no, actually, no. You continue, then I will. Then I will.
uh, anyway, honestly, I think I see him succeeding in the CRD because, like, I saw him drive Kristen's truck, and at the show that I was at, he was already starting to pick it up. And then by the last show that I wasn't a part of, he was able to rank up some wins. So I think he's gonna like. Obviously, he's gonna be a little bit rusty. He's not gonna be too dominant, I think. But when we get to 2025, he's just gonna like pretty much be a fresh new Adam Anderson, and he's gonna be like kicking into high gear, I think.
I think
Yeah,
so
that's.
too. He just needs a time to get used to 42.
I mean, honestly, I think he's gonna get used to it. Like in the next, like I believe, I feel like Arlington. That's really when he's gonna get used to it. For now, it's gonna be like, all right, it's a new chassis. Gotta see how this is. So it's just gonna be like that. Houston, he might pick it up a little bit, and then I just feel like Arlington. That's really when he picked it up, and it's just gonna go all out. And to be honest, an energy that I honestly want to see Adam throw down is his 2023 energy. Because out of all honesty, I feel like 2023 was Adam's best year in 35, if I'm being completely honest. Sure, he didn't win a world championship that year, but his win streak was insane. His performance was insane, and he won a series. There's really no questioning about that.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a pretty good season coming up, but so obviously with the
Yeah.
event that's coming up this I think Saturday, right?
Saturday, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I freaking forgot. Yeah, I think
It's-
honestly the competition's gonna be like neck and neck. Like usually there would be drivers that you know who's gonna be pulling ahead, but with Adam having a new truck, Zach Gardner there, Cannon Murphy, Bari, Brandon in his first big event, Kayla, she's there, Jamie, I know he can throw down. This is going to be a very, very close like competition. Like I got a good feeling we're going to have some surprising winners. And I think it's good that we segue into that. Our predictions. And with these three shows, I'm going to try to keep up with predictions and maybe tally them. And then I guess the winner just gets bragging rights or some sort. So yeah, again, I don't have anything to give. Sorry. So let's
No
get,
predictions?
so
No
let's see.
predictions for
Damn.
you?
Uh, sorry,
You really have no predictions?
I'm trying to think. Fuck. So you know what? I'll I'll know for sure when I hear from you guys at first. So let's start with racing. So who do you think is gonna win
Jason can go
racing?
first. I'm still thinking.
Okay,
Jason can
Okay,
go. I'm
okay,
still
okay.
thinking.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go Kaysen, then we're gonna go to Douglas, and then we're gonna go to me for all of our
Of course, you're
predictions.
gonna go last.
Yeah, well, Yeah. So yeah, so we'll go racing, skills, freestyle, and overall. So all right, Kaysen, you're first. Who do you think's gonna win racing on this track? We don't know.
Well, we have to mention it's going to be a new track, most likely, or the old one. So we don't really know how the drivers will perform, since of course this is basically a testing out track. But if I would have to make any guess, I know this might be surprising despite the fact this truck's a little new. Well, or I should say chassis a little new. But I'm saying Adam Anderson's going to win racing in his first show with 42. I'm just going to say that. No questions asked.
Okay.
Pretty bold. Two wheel. What do you think?
Two wheel. Two wheel. I could see Camden taking the win, but of course it's a new body, so well, actually, no, the body looks a little the same as Bakugan
Yeah,
on the
sorta.
inside. On the, I feel like on the inside, it might look like Bakugan. So I feel like Camden could take a skills win, especially, but it especially has to be assumed by the way because basically quarter two, they could. This is basically the type of shows that they can pull off, like new moves that they haven't done before, or new skill that they have that they want to show for the following years. So I feel like Camden could be one to see because he can literally pull off anything surprising and get the win.
Okay.
All
That's
right.
kind of basically every driver.
I'm just letting you know our predictions are going to be very different. Uh,
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
All
I'm
right.
not surprised either, but what about freestyle? What do you think?
Yeah,
This literally could be
the,
anyone.
the big free for all freestyle free Shabakadu. What do you think?
No, for freestyle. I'm going to be completely honest. I think we're going to see a independent take the freestyle win.
Ah.
I will be honest. And if I have to say, like, any independent, I'm going to be honest. I feel like Zach has this. Honestly, I feel like if Zach can pull off some wild energy, especially since his truck got a little bit of an upgrade this year, I feel like he could really go wild.
Uh,
And no, I did not say that. I did not say wild on purpose. I
no,
literally mean he could be wild during freestyle.
out of all people, you chose Zach?
I mean, I get it. He's an independent, but can't really. Why? You thought I was going to say something like a Team Throttle driver?
No.
At least I didn't say.
I thought you were gonna say Gravedigger.
Why? No, I said independent. Hey, at least I didn't pick Jamie. We all know that ain't happening. Well, maybe, depending.
Maybe, but Zach, I doubt that. But
We'll just have to wait and see.
overall, like, out of all the people, Zach does not seem likely to win freestyle to me. Yeah, he's
I don't
good, but
know.
I haven't really seen him do like anything like groundbreaking. I don't know what he'd do to get the
Like
win in freestyle.
racing championship, ground make breaking moment.
Now what about the overall? What do you think?
Overall. No, from what I've kind of seen, majority of the drivers that won overall mostly have to win a competition. Well, obviously, they win.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't even have to win. They just have to place a little high. So if I have to pick any driver to win overall, no, I'm kidding. Adam Anderson. I'm just
Sparkle Smash, that's crazy.
Adam Anderson, I'm picking overall.
Yeah, of course you choose Gravedigger.
I mean, he's really the only driver I see placing high, to be honest.
Yeah, I have to disagree with you, bro. And if you want, I can share that right now.
Oh, geez. Well, who's up next for predictions? Because I named all of mine. I know, pretty wild, right? So,
That would be Douglas.
who's up next? Oh yeah, Douglas.
All right. Who do I think will win racing? I think that will be Dalton Widener in Jurassic Attack.
Oh,
That's
It,
actually not really a bad pick.
it,
Not
in my
really.
head, I'm just imagining like Chicago style for this. Of course, we don't know what track it'll be. I might have to really look at the track and see who's gonna win, but for now, I'm just thinking of Chicago style, and it's Dalton Widener for me. He's he's good at like stadium racing. Like I think in Glendale last year he did like win racing. I'm probably misremembering, but he has won a couple racing events in like stadiums. So he's
Actually,
my
this year
pick
was his.
for like he's actually my pick for racing in Glendale this year. And what was that?
Uh, just to correct you, this year was the first time he was ever in stadiums.
I actually did not know that.
Yeah, this was the first time Dalton has ever been in stadiums.
I didn't know
That's
that.
why
I
he.
thought it was like his second year.
No, no, I think you're thinking of complexes, Salinas,
Probably.
or Paul Jensen, if you're also thinking of him.
I'm probably misremembering something, but either way, Dalton Whitener is my pick. Now, for two-wheel skills, I really don't care about two-wheel skills. So I'm just gonna pick a random driver, and to me, that is just gonna be Camden. Camden, I think, I think like Hasten said, like it's similar to like Bakugan Dragonoid, like the body shape. So maybe it could like benefit like Camden a little bit, but I'm not really sure about that. For freestyle, like this literally could be anyone. I have no clue, but if I had to pick someone, it would be probably Camden again. Because again, I have seen him like in stadiums before. He has had bad luck before, but he has always like throw down like a good event, a good
Arlington.
show. Yeah, that's the main
Arlington.
that's the main fucking like example that I'm going with here.
No, we need to see that energy from him. Like, honestly, we have to.
We have
Like,
to, bro. Like
if like
either from
if
like a
Ryan,
Adam or Camden.
I mean, if Ryan isn't competing, it's all up to Camden. Say for Adam, but I think we kind of know how his energy is. But at the same time, I mentioned I want to see his 2023 energy. So, yeah.
It really could be both of them for me. They're the only ones that really stand out to win like the whole thing, which actually leads me to overall. I think it might be either Adam or Camden. It could be either one of them. They're the only ones that like really can like dominate. No disrespect to any other driver in there, but Adam and Camden compared to the rest of the field, they just seem to be better in my opinion. But we'll see what Thomas thinks.
all right. So now I had time to process, and now we're gonna start with racing. I think, like with how he's been in racing, again, it's not just because he won the championship. I'm thinking Zach Garner. Um, on
He is
his
fast.
yeah on his stadium appearance, even though that he came up short, he still like was hauling ass. I think he's like got what it takes to win a racing competition in Glendale. Like his truck is fast, man. Um,
I I'd say yeah. It's also one. I also just actually a little bit of outside context. Going back to World Finals, when it came to the week, like immediately when I saw Zach was in the main field, I immediately had him as my racing prediction, and it's all because he's fast. That was really the reason. And a few days later, he won. Surprising.
Which was actually my prediction too in the World Finals
And I
racing.
and I thought I was the only one who predicted Zach until like after the event, I found out, oh, there was a lot more, or a few more. Hmm.
Mostly because like the track was kind of benefiting like arena drivers because like the sharp turns.
That
It,
is
it
that is
it was a pretty logical reason why to pick Zach Garner and other people like Jamie. I have seen other people predict her before the World Finals.
what?
So it yeah, I have seen people do that.
Why?
So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because they're like arena drivers and people just thought, oh, it's tight turns, arenas drivers, which I believe that too. So I can't really say much. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
back to the topic, Thomas,
yeah.
what do you
Back
think?
to the yeah, back to this.
And now back to this. Now we have skills. um, so with skills, again, with skills in freestyle, kind of like racing, it just depends on what track. Which again, we have no freaking clue on what the track is. But with how these drivers have performed in the competition, honestly, again, I gotta agree with you guys with Camden Murphy. I think he's gonna just sweep skills. He's got like this, no pun intended, but he has the skill. Like he's able to do some really good nose wheelies, and he's talented with that. Um, Now freestyle could go either way with any of these drivers. Again, you might get a surprising winner, or you might get somebody that you might be expecting. Again, this was a very tough choice. But I just said, you know what? Screw it. We'll go for Adam and Gravedigger. With that truck, I believe by
Wha-
after racing and skills, I think he might get a little bit of a gist of like how the truck is, maybe. Because again, they still have practice before the event itself, so they still have time. So I think he might have a little bit of time to figure things out, and I think he might just get the freestyle win. But again, not by much, because there's still going to be heavy competition with that. Um,
Yeah, it's a really tough choice.
and then for the overall event championship, honestly, I'm going for Zach Garner with that. Like from all the categories that I've seen, with him with skills, with racing and freestyle, he's a really, really great rising star. And I think, honestly, he's going to get the overall by the end of the night. And
Okay.
Probably.
That okay. That is
Nah, Jason, you can
so.
go. I'm still thinking.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. Well, it looks like me and Thomas are both kind of in the same edge. We both think Zach is gonna be talented enough to win a competition. He
But
thinks
then again, here's
overall,
the
I don't.
thing. Here's the thing. Zach, besides the World Finals, has never won, at least from what I remember, like any like stadium like events in like a while. Like he almost won in Arlington when I saw him, but that's really about it. Like I don't remember like him even like winning in stadiums like for a long time besides the World
I
Finals.
I
but,
do.
but I think now,
When
now, oh yeah, go ahead.
Uh,
when
I
Jason.
do. Um, Not really stadiums, but of course it was a speedway in Atlanta. He won skills there.
Hmm.
But then like a about 1 year later in Orlando, he ended up winning racing. And for the record, that was Camping World Stadium, not one of the arenas. Yeah. And that was just the last time he did win. So I won't really be surprised if he wins like more wins in stadiums.
But yeah, yeah, that just brought me to something, because again, that was when, um, I think that was like when he had like before he had that upgrade, and obviously he was still developing as a driver. But now that he's won the championship, and now that he's like really like gained so much skill and so much knowledge now, even at a very young age, I think right now he's probably now at his prime. Like I think he's got what it takes to get a win. I think
And
like
I mean, the kid is
multiple.
I think so too, but I don't know. I
But
don't know.
but because of all that, again, I'm very very glad they put him to stadiums next year. Like, it's
Yeah, that is a
well
good thing.
deserved from
That is,
yeah all the times he's competed
yeah.
before, and then earning the racing championship on top of that.
And the
That could
best
be
part
really a
about
good time to prove himself
Yep.
after
and the
winning like
best
the World Finals Racing Championship. That could be a good time to prove himself against like the big guns, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, pretty much, and saying like, "Hey, no, World Finals was not a fluke," and he can just go up and really, yeah, as you said, prove himself in the. This is pretty much the big leagues. Like that's where he's competing, because with that tour,
yeah.
Stadium West is stacked with so many top drivers on that tour. Again, no offense to the guys on the East tour, but West is like insanely stacked with talent.
That is
Yeah,
that is very true.
yeah, like you're going against like what was it? Adam and
Yeah.
Ryan Anderson and of course Tristan England. So many big names that could actually like compete
Sa-
and
Same
get
for
wins.
Todd. Same for Todd, which was a little surprising to see there.
Todd, he's kind of meh now. It's a little hot
Uh,
take.
I don't know. I feel like that was just really when he was getting used, or I think that's really when his truck is getting used to the body.
Maybe.
If you, I mean,
I don't
also for,
I don't
um,
think like Todd's really as good as he used to be, but putting that aside, Tristan and Adam and Ryan, like if the racing championship wasn't a fluke, then he can really prove it here.
yeah.
All right. So, is there any final thoughts on Glendale before I go to the delayed fan question?
Oh,
Nothing really.
uh, really, all I could say is hopefully Glendale's not going to be disappointing. That's really all I could say.
Yeah, my honest thoughts going into this weekend. I'm very excited. The live commentating by the official commentators, the great lineup that feels pretty refreshing, something completely different this time, and just a lot of anticipation going in, whether it's possibly a new track, possibly a new format. Again, I'm really excited for this. Um, yeah, and we'll have to watch it live on YouTube. All right, so now let's go ahead and let's go to something I want to try to make a little bit more traditional each time I do a normal episode of the podcast. Again, with regular interviews, I'm not going to be doing that. But with regular episodes like this, where it's the weekly episodes, I'll have fan questions. So whether it's on my official TF Motorsports Discord or if it's on my Instagram at RealThomasFrasco, I will have a question referring to Monster Jam or Monster Trucks, and you'll have to answer, and we'll give out the answers here on the podcast, and we'll also hear from the guests themselves. So, so pretty much the question was, if you bought Monster Jam and now it's yours, you get to do whatever you want with it. What would you do first thing? So we have several answers going in, and before I do so, I just want to hear from the guests themselves first. So let's see, we have Douglas. So what do you think? If you had Monster Jam, what would you do?
I had to think about that when you brought that up because there's a lot of things that could be changed. But I'll go with like the bigger ones. Like the bigger problems to me is the way they do the season kickoffs. They do not need to do baby pictures or some other silly gimmick like that. To me, it just needs to feel more like a sport. To me, that's the biggest issue with Monster Jam. Not the kids stuff. I think that's fine. You gotta make money somehow, but the way they do the kickoffs to me is just ridiculous, and they really need to change that. And with the shows themselves, I don't really have a problem with that. It still produces a good product even without crush cars, which I know a lot of fans had. but I think they're far behind us now, and I think it's kind of outdated, and it's also a safety hazard. So another problem is like lack of like arenas this year, like shows like Syracuse and like of course like Houston and Arlington being on the 2025 schedule. I'm sure they have a reason because like Cowboys Stadium's like going into renovations, but Syracuse, I don't even know what's going on there, and I would to know maybe like be more transparent about what's going on rather than have fans like me that's just like asking questions and not really getting answers. And I'm pretty sure you can relate to this, Thomas, because like in 2019 they didn't go to MetLife Stadium. So I think you'd like Monster Jam to be like a bit more transparent on that, right?
Oh yeah, with the World Finals is what you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think also it was also with like the injuries, but again, I don't know if it's because of drivers not wanting to like have things get revealed publicly, but either way, they should have like said that, or if they wanted it to be revealed publicly, then Monster Jam should have been the first source, I think.
they should have, yeah.
Because then
But
that just
this
yeah that like added
that's really about
question.
it.
Yeah, it kind of like added questions and it made me like worried. Um, now excuse me, Kason. Now if you had Monster Jam, like you bought Monster Jam, what would you do?
Uh, First things first. Um, I would when it comes to like say stadiums or like big time events like the World Finals or Superstar Challenge, for like normal stadium shows, I would just honestly expand the lineup to 14 trucks because I think we all know we wanted that, to be honest. And for World
Mm,
Finals, maybe expand. I feel like Douglas had something to say.
Uh,
Or
14 trucks for a stadium lineup? I don't know. I think 12 is good enough. That's just way too big for me. Like 14 trucks? No. But I don't know, you can go on. I don't know.
well, well, at the same time, people like don't really like the 14 truck lineups. I could make. Oh, I'm not saying I could. I'm gonna. I
If
would
you could.
probably bring back, if I could, I would probably bring back another like three stadium tours. Like say put like a lot of the arena drives that people feel like should not belong in arenas anymore, and just put them in stadiums. Like Weston, we all know we wanted him to be in stadiums.
That's a
Like
good
we
point,
kind
yeah.
of all knew that.
Yeah, it's
Knew that.
I did a whole video, pretty much a whole discussion
Yeah,
video
I
dedicated
saw
to that.
that.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was really interested by your thoughts. Um, Actually, yeah, pretty interested. Um, and for World Finals, just to make fans happy and uh, let the amount of drivers that people want to see in the World Finals actually make it. I would honestly just expand the lineup to 28 trucks. And yes, last chance qualifying I keep as a thing. And, and to
Why
make
not
things a little more,
32?
that's just too much. Way too much. And
Mm,
I mean, sure, 32 is good, but at the same time, the amount of damage there will be. Uh, I mean, sure, you can comment about 28 being also a lot, but 32 is a lot bigger. Um,
30, 32 is to me a good size for like World Finals. Like at least
yeah,
it gives like Independence a chance to actually make it in and like be a
that
part of
is
the
true.
lineup.
That is
So
true.
it really could go any other way, like 28 or 32. We can get some
Yeah.
independence in there.
Of course.
But Thomas, what do you think?
Well, I don't even know. Was Kaysen done?
I don't think I was done. Oh yeah, I wasn't done.
Yeah, yeah. I want to
Whoops.
make sure. Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Like when
I'm
you were
sorry,
answering, I
bro.
was it's fine. When Doug was just like answering my question, I was like, wait, am I done? Oh no, I wasn't. So
I was like,
so
is
he
this
made
guy
me
done?
forget. Like, yeah. So excuse my yapping. Superstar, I would honestly just expand the line to 20 trucks because I feel like it will be a lot more entertaining with 20 trucks. And fine. And finally, of what I would do, is just I would say just for Superstar and World Finals. Sure, maybe sometimes these trucks can have this, but really they can only debut only like once, or you keep it to the next season. I would say give like I'm not saying every truck will have it, but I'm saying I feel like a lot of trucks need a lot more body schemes. If I'm being completely off, like I mean,
Like the grave
Superstar,
diggers?
I think the
Grave
Graders are fine.
diggers?
No, I think great. I mean, Superstar Challenge, it kind of proved that Monster Jam wants to be a little cheap when it comes to truck body schemes. I mean, no, the amount of body schemes we
Oh,
got, like, like Nitro Neon, we kind of some people just expected for like every truck to have a new body scheme, and that end up not happening.
yeah, that's
I
That
mean
was
something that Feld should definitely do.
that also happened with the
yeah,
All-Star Challenge too. So
that was true, but at the same time, it was a new event, and no one knew how that would end up. So yeah,
Definitely good points you made.
yeah, yeah. And well, for normal events, I will say maybe a few trucks could run a few buy schemes, mainly independents. Um, and then obviously I feel like at World Finals they should have like a lot more trucks have like a lot more body scheme because if I'm being honest, sure we did get quite a few new body schemes for each truck, but most of them weren't even competing, which I found a little bit more irritating. Because like, why would you make a body ski? I mean, Last Chance did make sense, but Ashley just ran a completely normal Megalodon. And what if in a surprising moment she actually did win? What will Todd run? Because
I
they were they're running the same Megalodon body.
I don't know. I
Like,
guess I gave her the normal Megalodon because she had no chance of winning. So
well, well, in an upset moment. But
imagine if that
yeah,
did happen. I don't know what Todd would drive.
oof.
But
I mean, I was
Thomas,
so. I mean,
Bring
yeah.
back Blue
All right,
Thunder.
now I'm actually done.
make backflips better.
Oh,
What?
I know I
I
said bring
said
back.
bring back with Thunder.
Yeah, Blue Thunder. Yeah, yeah. Todd would fit better in Blue Thunder, honestly. Like 2022 when he was in Blue Thunder, he seemed to have done more on that truck than he did with Megalodon these last 2 years. I think it's definitely either the chassis he ran or both that and the body.
I feel like it's the
He's just better
body.
in Blue Thunder overall.
Yeah. Now let's get to mine. So obviously, I'd start with presentation as the first part, and what I would do is, because with points, and again I'll keep the points, I will make it more motorsport like and have um like a bigger presentation with like the drivers really showcase their names a little bit more in the advertising. Obviously, of course, show the trucks like Gravedigger and Megalodon and El Toro Loco, but I also want people to start knowing the drivers a little bit better. Get more driver videos on social media, like kind of like introducing them or maybe showcasing their lives or a little bit more personality. Um, with the TV, um, The podcast is great. The show is great. I think they should add a show kind of similar to the old Inside Monster Jam from the old Speed days from 2006. With that one, you were like going behind the scenes, seeing the drama and like seeing like what's going on, like why is the truck's breaking and like what do they have to do or like the struggles that they're going through. And then seeing like interviews and like everything being genuine. They should have a show like that again. But obviously, since Inside Monster Jam is taken, they should have it like Monster Jam Behind the Scenes or the Superstars of Monster Jam as like that type of name. And that is what they would have as a separate show, and I think that'd be great. When we get to the shows, I'm thinking new tracks for stadiums every week. If that's too much for people, we'll go at least a new track every 2 weeks or so. And then for arenas, we'll touch up the arena pod each year, but the arena pod is going to pretty much be one track the whole year, obviously. But it will get like a new addition each year, like a bigger ramp or like a crazier new obstacle added. But it'll still be like a pod-like style.
Yeah, something we discussed earlier.
Yeah. And then when it comes to the driver lineups, just because a lot of fans love the 14 truck lineups, I'll do 14. I think that's perfect enough for stadiums. It's not too much, not too little. And then arenas obviously stay at 8. I'm thinking for the World Finals, obviously for the World Finals, they should have it a little bit more St. Louis focused. Like, obviously have like a crazy racing style, but have it as like a St. Louis spin. Like, add like extra jumps, add an extra berm, or like something to make it special, or maybe add an extra lap or something. Like, because then it also kind of has that like World Finals like finish at the end, where they got that one turn and they're like side by side at the end. Lineup itself, I'll agree with the 28. And yeah, and then really expand on I'm thinking they should really expand on different like track colors and like different designs with the tracks themselves. Because honestly, they've been doing roughly the same paint for almost 10 years now, with the exception of the black. The black's been done since like 2018. So they should really try and get a new color paint on there so it stays fresh as well. That's what I would do.
What color do you think they should use?
Anything that they want, honestly. Maybe for the tours have like one yellow and one green, or maybe just change them up each week, you know? I think variety.
Yeah, keep it fresh.
Yeah, I think variety goes a long way, especially with not just old fans, but even younger fans or people who are just getting into Monster Jam and went there the previous year. I think it'd be great to keep it fresh. That's what I would do.
I do agree about that, yeah.
All right, and now
Jason.
let's
Jason.
Oh, Kaysen. Is he alive?
What?
Oh, he's alive. He's alive.
He's alive.
It's
Any
alive.
opinions
It's
about
alive.
I have rise from the dead.
Yes. We've done absolutely nothing, but he has risen. We didn't have to do
Any
shit.
opinions?
All I can do is just keep my mouth shut.
Oh, jeez, I'm going to lose my throat.
You good?
Yeah, it's freaking allergies in New Jersey. It sucks. I'm guessing you were gonna ask what did Kaysen think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to get his thoughts.
Honestly?
About changing the tricolor every week.
And honest take.
To be honest, if you're really gonna name, like, if you're really just gonna say, like next year we're getting like the East for Stadium Tour East and West. We have like a combination of like both on each tour. And since people were like say once we get the track style, I mean the track color for that tour, we're just gonna name it by that. And to be honest, just to not make the fans like do that, I feel like that's honestly a great idea, if I'm being completely honest.
All right. Uh, Now let's go ahead and see what the fans thought, or the community. So we have the Racing Genius, who put bring back Monster Energy and racetrack shows. I'm guessing he means by like the speedway stuff, like Lebanon and like Hagerstown. I'm guessing that's what he meant by racetrack shows.
I think.
Maybe he's talking about like the green track. Maybe.
Maybe. But either way, I'm assuming it's probably the like short tracks or the dirt tracks. So Mason VK says, first off, more respect for indie trucks, and second, let trucks save it in freestyle. Now, the first point, I think they do have respect for the indies, because again, with some of the drivers running the indie bodies, like with Jamie Gardner and El Toro Loco, I think they're doing that to save money for like their bodies. So I think it benefits. And then the
I
second
think so.
and then the second point, let the truck save it for freestyle. Again, I guess that depends on the official running the event. Because with MetLife, I noticed they just. I remember, I think it was Nick in Kraken. He went and he did like a somersault, and they just didn't let him keep going after that. And I think I noticed several other saves throughout the summer shows, and they just couldn't let him keep going. But only for a few drivers they actually did, I believe, with Chris Kohler, that being one of them. So, yeah, I guess it isn't just me. I think they have been a little bit more stricter.
Am I allowed to say something about all?
You're good.
Uh,
That's why I kind of stopped, just to kind of let you chime in here for a bit.
okay. To answer the question with Jamie, that is correct. That's why most drivers that run as an independent run feld bodies just to save money. Um, and this year they are going a little bit strict on independence just because of a little upgrade they all independents did. Of course, that being Field Tech. Uh, because, because if you think about it, most of the independents from this year were going straight up chaotic. If
Mm,
you really think about it,
yeah.
which is why they Monster got a little bit more strict. Like they weren't really strict, but I feel like ever since I would say maybe the Superstar Challenge, like ever since Jim Kohler, I feel like that's kind of where Monster was like, yeah, I think we're going to need to change our emotions about independence and fell trucks.
Hmm.
I don't really think so.
Because again, they
I
got
kind of,
Chris Kohler. I believe he got a freestyle win in the summer series, and he managed to get a save and keep going. But I,
yeah, but
I
that's
don't know.
really, but that kind of just depends on like, because like say Team Scream, they're like a really well-known independent team. Actually, one of the most well-known ones
Yeah,
at the point because they've been with Moss Jam for a long time, and I mean a long, long time.
like two
At the
decades, pretty
point where
much.
there's, yeah, like, I mean, they're probably just well-known at this point where they will just let, where they can just let Team Scream mostly, you know, do whatever they. Not, I'm not saying do whatever they want. I'm just saying they could, they could be like Feld is basically like the Team Scream. You can be like us, but not too much. Like like
Maybe it
I'm
was
just
just to
saying.
save money for the independent teams. I think that's really about it. Maybe like
Yeah,
Feld doesn't have like a vendetta against like independent teams running like custom schemes. I really don't think so. I know some people believe that, but I don't think so. That's not to
mm,
say Feld has done really shitty things, like look at Bigfoot, but
that is-
I don't think they're gonna go that far to like just outright like ban like custom bodies for independents. I don't think they'd do that.
mm.
All
Well, they
right.
do just let independents run by teams, so yeah.
All right. Next one we have Ryler Powell. They put bring some old names back. I mean, yeah, I mean, I could see that maybe with like the World Finals if they go back to that old format where you got multiple gravediggers, you get a couple bodies. I think that would work pretty well. Off Track
Nice.
Productions MT put bring back unique designs for each truck. Rest in peace, Black El Toro Loco. I mean, yeah, that one was a good one. My dad really liked that one. But
That was my favorite one.
yeah, I think they should go back to that way. Whether it was like I think that was 2013 they started doing that, and then 2016 they went like crazy with a bunch of different designs. They should go and maybe try that out again. I think that'd be like a nice little fresh touch. We get to see some new paints.
More reasons why 2016 was my favorite Monster season because of the amount of body schemes.
All right, so
It's only up there.
Monster Jam Fan 2016 put two things. First, have 16 stadium lineup, rank up, and a point series and 32 trucks for the World Finals. And then the second, bring back Backwards Bob. That's the second part of it. Just bring back Backwards Bob.
I feel like Douglas is gonna like this one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite trucks.
I knew Douglas was gonna like that one. Like after I heard Backwards Bob, I just thought Douglas.
Yeah, it's
I,
one of
I
my
was like,
favorites. He definitely had me there.
I was kind of on the verge of saying, "Now's your chance, Douglas."
But again,
I
before I continue, just sorry if I mispronounce some names. I'm kind of tired from work and shit. Also, I'm bad with reading. So Colton Perez puts change it to the good old days like our childhood. Again, I don't know about that because again, it's like I think it's too easy to say that. I know this might be controversial, but like just hear me out. We can't just switch back instantly to like where it's just a bunch of cars and all that. Like we kind of have to take with what we have now and kind of expand and adapt. And that's kind of why I've talked about the field of Monster Jam should be going more towards a sport or like adding some things that could benefit. Like if we just went to say, oh yeah, just bring back cars and all that and do the Tim Horn shtick, I don't think it would work. Honestly, it would just be like it wouldn't be like a logical like complaint. I think.
Yeah, I think cars are the thing of the past now. Like,
Like
it would be nice to
yeah.
have him back. Like, have him back in Monster Jam. That's obvious. I'm sure every fan would love that.
Yeah, exactly. Like
But
it wouldn't hurt to have a couple, but like just doing the old style of events entirely, but like just bringing it back one day, like suddenly it's next year and you just rebrand all the way back to the original and you just go full on like that. Again, it's both not really possible with today's stuff they have now and the stadium's new regulations that they have to go by, but also again, just going full nostalgia for nostalgia, I don't think it would work well.
I agree, it wouldn't really. Especially like cars from today, they obviously do have a lot of plastic parts and that makes them break easier and obviously creates debris. and that could cut a tire down and end a run during like what the RII does. Like, sorry, restart, stuttering.
You're fine.
Like, usually they'll shut like a truck off sometimes just from like having a flat tire, and cars can really cut tires down really easily to the tire you use. So they probably wouldn't really work. Maybe have them as like a World Finals and Superstar Challenge exclusive, like how they've been doing, and I think that's it. That's it for me.
All right, so let's see. We're gonna try to speed run through these. So we have Mike Trapper 04 putting bring Max D to El Paso. Um, I'm trying to think because again with Max D, the future of that truck is kind of up in the air, especially with Tom now gone. So depending on what happens with Max D internationally, whether this is going to be the last time we're seeing Max D internationally, or if they do it again next year, I don't know. But at the same time, 50-50 if it continues next year. Next, we have Franklin Stadium 615. One of my buddies on Instagram, he put, I would bring back OG Monster Jam. Also, I would make tours in speedways or fairgrounds. So obviously, the OG Monster Jam, we talked about it already. But I do like the other one. Make a tour in speedways and fairgrounds. Like, that actually is a pretty cool concept. If they can pull that off, that could be like the ground roots tour, which then leads into arenas and then into stadiums. I think that'd be nice, honestly. It'd be a fresh coat of paint on everything. Monster Truck Fan 2010 put bring back old trucks and old venues to the lineups. Old trucks again would be pretty fresh, and then old venues again you would have to talk to the promoters of the venues in order to get that to happen. Alex Monster Jam put I would bring back 14 truck lineups, agreeing with me. Spin Master Monster Jam, not the official page, but obviously a fan page. They put I would bring back retired trucks that everyone will always remember. Kind of agreeing to that one. Sorry about that. So we have Maximum. Sorry, some of the names are kind of crazy. Maximum underscore Grazier RC. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Put make it title sponsor base and change up track designs every 3 shows. Okay, so we're that's who I was referring to earlier. But yeah, I do like that concept, and having it a title sponsor, that I think would really benefit them. I think that would do well. And then honestly, wait, I want to hear what you guys think actually about the title sponsor stuff. Do you think Monster Jam should have a title sponsor, and what like title sponsors should they have on board?
I'll let Kason go first.
When you say title sponsor, do you mean like a spot, like sort of like Monster Jam auto parts?
Yeah, like with
Uh,
it like sponsoring pretty much the whole show, like Advanced Auto Parts or
Um,
wrenchhead.com.
I swear to God, Monster Jam is probably going to do this someday in the future. And this is already, for the record, this is already a sponsored. This is already a sponsor for Monster Jam. But the more I feel like they do it, the more it's going to happen. I'm going to say Monster Jam, Morgan and Morgan, because they
That's
advertise Morgan and Morgan. I feel like they just advertise Morgan and Morgan too much at the point where it could literally be named Monster Jam, Morgan and Morgan.
Honestly, with Morgan and Morgan, they're pretty much everywhere. Like NASCAR, they're starting to dip their toe into. I would not be
yeah with
surprised.
RCR.
Yeah, I would not be
Yeah.
surprised if all other motorsports would get that Morgan and Morgan treatment. But again, I'm still kind of about the Morgan and Morgan backflip, because with Monster Energy, it rolled off the tongue, or either that, or I'm just liking it because I hear Ryan Lacoste saying that in my head. But with Morgan and Morgan, obviously I made the Randy Feldface meme, because that's what it kind of feels like. You're hearing Morgan and Morgan like 20 times a show. Because you gotta say it for the sponsor, but you're saying Morgan multiple times, even for just one sentence.
Morgan backflip.
So yeah, you say it once, it equals twice. So you're saying it like 20 times.
It's Morgan and Morgan backflip time!
Could you imagine if it was Morgan and Morgan Monster Jam? Oh, the Morgans would be through the freaking roof.
My last name is Morgan, so yeah, I agree. I'd be through the roof at that
Holy
point.
shit, it
dude,
is.
if you don't become the president of Feld Entertainment, I'm suing.
Morgan would be everywhere.
More Sparkle Smash advertisements.
Let's just get a lot of Morgans in Monster Jam. We'll have every employee be named Morgan.
Morgan.
Real.
Now,
a law firm
we'll have a
sponsoring
driver name.
full-
For hell, we're gonna rename Monster Jam to Morgan Jam.
Morgan
Jam.
Every M will be Morgan. Morgan Jam.
Monster Jam, Morgan Jam.
Wait, Blake Ranger's driving Morgan Destruction.
Grave Morgan,
Oh.
son of a Morgan, JCB Morgantron,
Well,
Thunder Morgan,
Iron Morgan.
the amazing Morgan and Morgan, Black
full
Morgan.
law firm
Wait, that sounds a
sponsoring
little
fucking
racist.
children's show.
L Morgan Loco. The crazy. Oh my god.
The crazy Morgan.
Can I for now say the Great Clips Morgan and Morgan? I know the truck is done, but can I see that for now?
Like that's
Please.
that's just two sponsors on a truck. Like that honestly would be the ultimate sponsor board on wheels.
What if, well, I literally just named the JCB Morgantron.
Yeah, the JCB
No one can beat
Morgan. I wonder what the concept of these Morgans would be. Would it just be like a lawyer, or would it be just like some like poor drawing of some dude with like these big eyes and this like smirk, and it's just Morgan on a t-shirt?
Wait, even
If
better,
all of
even
them
better.
were just yellow.
I know Douglas is gonna like this one. Sparkle Morgan.
I hate that.
Okay, so for
Or Morgan Smash.
okay,
Morgan
oh my
Smash.
god, Morgan Smash. All right, with anybody who does
I'm
rigs and
sorry.
rods or whatever bodies for trucks, I want somebody to do something like Morgan related on any of these trucks. For God's sakes, we gotta make it happen. Like, I can't design for shit, but I know somebody out there can.
Jason, you
Brandon,
got this. Right?
Brandon Adam, if you're hearing this,
Brandon,
please do this.
I know you don't know me and I don't know you, but let's just make this happen. Let's make a.
What about Blake Thompson?
Blake? Maybe you too. Holy shit.
Jason, you can do this.
What?
You have to design like Morgan and Morgan trucks. You have to do
Oh
that.
my god! Like just like a whole pack.
Well, I'm not gonna
and
do
it's
it on
just-
rings. That's the only thing.
Oh. Anyway,
Like, I can't do rings. I really can't.
all right. Let's get to the final one. Because we're running pretty high.
I'm
We're at
sorry.
a minute 23. My buddy, my good buddy Eric Hinchman, or Hinchman. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your last name again. I was able to meet him at Sussex this year. He put 16 truck lineups and drop mufflers except Arena Series. Yeah, I think it'd be fitting to have stadiums only for mufflers because again, there's more space for the noise to move. Like he thought of it pretty smartly on that one. Like I'll agree to that.
Yeah. Monster trucks are already loud as they are.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about Morgan and Morgan.
Yeah, I think we'll end it. I think we'll end it on this line, Morgan. So Yeah, but before we go too crazy yapping about Morgan and Morgan, it's a good place to end it here. So you know what? In the comments down below at the end, right here, just put a random truck name, but have a Morgan spin as we did. Like either one that we said that you like the most, or one that we missed that I think you would probably like better. So yeah, want to thank.
There's gonna be so much.
Well, 50-50. Again, there's probably not gonna be a lot of comments, but still. Again, I want to thank Douglas for once again being on the podcast. Again, it's he's been wanting to get back on here for a while, and we got back to him, and he had a pretty good time, I believe.
I did.
Yep,
and I'd love to come back someday.
Yep, and then Kaysen making his debut on the podcast, and I believe you had a good time, right?
I really did. I mean, apologies for all the interruptions we had.
Again, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, especially the the bloopers beginning with Douglas and you just like doing the intro and Douglas, which I still want that video.
Oh, I'll send it to you. So
thank you.
Yeah. So again, we'll probably have you guys back on next week, most likely, because it's like the sequel to this episode. Yeah, next week, Tuesday. Again, we're at the time of this upload, it's Tuesday, so we're gonna have another upload next Tuesday, and that will be for the sequel to this, which is the results and thoughts, honest. And if we have more Morgan and Morgan comments, I'll read them off. But of course,
we better do.
Yeah, but of course,
we better have it.
Yeah, but of course, either on the Instagram page at Real Thomas Frasco or at the TF Motorsports Discord, which the link is in the description down below, I will ask a Monster Jam / Monster Truck question, and you'll have to answer, and we will say them right then and there. So. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on the podcast, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's been an honor to be here, and I'm just gonna end it off with this. Please type Morgan and Morgan in the comments.
This episode was not brought to you in part by Morgan and Morgan.